Night settles gently around you. The air is still. The world outside is fading into quiet. The body rests deeper into softness, and the mind begins to wander like a lantern drifting on calm waters. In this place of rest, we step together into the ancient dream world of the circle, a symbol so simple, yet filled with the whispers of eternity. Imagine yourself standing in a vast clearing, under a sky dusted with stars. Around you there is no edge, no corner, no end, only the soft curve of space, round and unbroken. The earth beneath feels wide, the heavens above endless. And there, within the silence, you sense the presence of a circle, drawn not by human hands, but by time itself. The circle is everywhere. The rising sun in the east, the full moon glowing above still waters, the ring of stones that marked sacred ground in forgotten lands. It is the wheel of seasons moving quietly from spring to winter and back again. It is the cycle of life, birth, growth, decline, renewal. The ancients saw the circle and knew, here is a shape that never dies. Close your eyes and let the circle surround you. A boundary, yet not a prison. A shelter, yet not a wall. It is the embrace of wholeness where nothing is missing. Within its roundness there is no sharpness, no beginning to fear, no end to dread. Only flow, only return, only the gentle breathing of eternity. Long ago, people gathered in circles around firelight. The flames danced upward, but the people sat in a ring. Faces glowing, hearts connected. The circle held them equal and safe. No throne, no front or back. Each one belonged. Each one reflected in the eyes of another. The circle made them kin. In temples of stone, priests and seekers trace circles upon the ground, upon the air, upon the skin. To step into a circle was to step into sacredness. It was a promise that nothing would be broken. That life, even in sorrow, would turn back toward joy. That endings were only passages to beginnings once more. Let your mind drift to the circle of the heavens. Watch as the constellations rise, glide across the night, and vanish, only to return again. The stars move like pearls on an invisible wheel, turning slowly, gently, forever. To the ancients, this was comfort. The sky itself promised that nothing truly disappears. All is part of the circle's flow. Now picture the circle as a vessel of protection. In distant lands, rituals were drawn within circles of chalk or stone to guard against what was harsh or harmful. Inside the ring, one was safe. The circle whispered, "Here, nothing can disturb you. Here, you are held. Here, you are whole." Let this thought cradle you now as the night deepens. You are safe within your own silent circle. The circle was also a mirror of the spirit. Breath moves in and out like a wheel. Day follows night and night follows day. Hearts beat in rhythm, a pulse repeating again and again. The ancients felt this within themselves and knew they were part of something larger. Each breath, each heartbeat, was a tiny circle woven into the vast roundness of the cosmos. Imagine now a smooth stone, carved into a ring, worn upon the hand of a priest or a queen. That ring was not only an ornament, but a sign. Eternal love, eternal promise, eternal bond. Even now, rings are exchanged to seal devotion. The circle carries the vow that nothing can separate. Not time, not distance. It has no break, no weakness. It holds firm forever. Rest with this thought. Love as a circle. Friendship as a circle. Families as circles gathered around fire or table. Communities as circles of shared life. Each one overlapping, joining, creating larger and larger patterns until the whole world is encircled. The ancients trusted this truth. The circle gathers, never divides. Drift into the memory of sacred wheels. In India, the Dharma wheel turned with 8 spokes guiding the spirit toward peace. In the north, great shields bore round patterns to remind warriors of the unbroken bond of clan. In the desert, circular labyrinths led pilgrims slowly inward, step by step, until the center was found, a still point of calm. And always, the circle invited one lesson. Walk gently, return often. Trust the turning of life. Now let your imagination move to the circle of seasons. Feel the freshness of spring rain, new blossoms opening. Feel the warmth of summer sun, fruits ripening in their fullness. Sense the quiet of autumn winds, leaves falling, earth preparing for rest. Then winter, the hush, the stillness, the silence. Yet winter too will turn back into spring. Nothing is lost, nothing ends. The circle carries it all forward. Let this rhythm soothe you. You are not outside of it. Your life too has its seasons. Times of bloom, times of rest, times of letting go, times of renewal. Each one belongs. Each one has its place in the circle. Even sleep itself is part of the turning. The circle of waking and resting, resting and waking again. Tonight you rest. Tonight you return to the circle of peace. Softly now, imagine standing within a ring of stones. They are tall, ancient, worn by wind and rain. Around you, they rise in silence, forming a circle open to the sky. You feel the ground beneath, the stars above, the air wrapping around you. You are in the center of eternity. Time does not press here. The stones whisper only calm. The circle holds you. The ancients who built such places knew something deep, that the human soul longs to belong, to be encircled, to rest within something greater than itself. The circle gave them that gift, and it gives you the same tonight. As you breathe, feel yourself at the center of a gentle circle of light. Nothing can break it, nothing can disturb its peace. The moon itself is a circle, moving from shadow to fullness, then returning again. It rises tonight, silver and round, casting its glow upon waters and hills. To watch the moon was to watch the circle teach. Darkness will always give way to light, and light will return to shadow, but neither is forever. Both are part of the circle's dance. Let yourself drift into that dance. See the moon wax and wane, never rushing, never resisting. The circle moves at its own pace, calm and certain. So too may your spirit rest tonight, unhurried, trusting the slow turning of life. Even dreams move in circles. The mind sinks into sleep, wanders into vision, then rises back toward waking, round and round like a wheel upon water. As you rest, you enter the dream circle, where images flow like ripples and carry you toward the morning. The circle is a soft teacher. It tells you, do not fear endings, for they are only turning points. Do not fear distance, for all returns. Do not fear time, for eternity is round. Listen to its gentle lesson now, as you feel your body sink deeper into rest. You are not falling, not drifting away, but moving in a circle, returning always to stillness, returning always to peace. Now imagine a single candle in the dark, its light forming a round glow upon the walls. Within that circle of light there is safety. There is warmth. The night may stretch on outside, but within this soft boundary you are held. The flame flickers, the shadows soften, and you close your eyes, carried into rest by the circle's embrace. Let the last thought be this: the circle is not far away. It is not only in the sky or in stone or in stories long forgotten. It is within you, in the rise and fall of breath, in the beating of the heart, in the closing and opening of eyes. You are a circle within a circle, a small eternity held inside the great eternity, and both are at peace. So rest now. Rest as the stars turn their wheel above you. Rest as the moon moves along her silver path. Rest as the earth itself spins, carrying you gently through the night. You are in the circle. You're safe. You are whole. Let us drift onward into deeper quiet. Let us follow the circle back to silence. Sleep now as the eternal round continues. Sleep now as the silent circle holds you. Night has deepened. The stars above are steady, their silver light drifting down like soft dust upon the earth. The air is calm, and shadows move slowly across the quiet land. Somewhere in the distance, a single flame flickers. It is small, yet it draws the eye, steady and alive, holding its place against the vastness of the night. You approach the flame, and it seems to welcome you. Its glow stretches outward, creating a circle of warmth. The darkness does not vanish, but it softens, wrapping itself around the fire like a cloak. The night listens. The flame hums softly, and the story begins. For ancient people, fire was never only heat or light. It was the breath of the gods, a living bridge between earth and heaven. They saw its dances sacred, wild yet gentle, dangerous yet tender. Flames rose like hands lifted upward, carrying prayers to the stars. Ash fell back to the soil, reminding them that all returns to the earth. In this rhythm of rising and falling, they found the voice of devotion. Close your eyes and imagine a temple at twilight. The walls are carved with old symbols, worn smooth by time. In the center stands a great brazier of bronze. The priests gather quietly. They carry small bundles of herbs, resins, and oils. The torches touch to the wood, and with a whisper of smoke, the flame awakens. Golden light spills across stone floors. The faces of those gathered glow with reverence. The fire is alive now, and all hearts turn toward it. The flame consumes, yet it also transforms. Wood becomes ember, ember becomes ash. Smoke curls upward, vanishing into the unseen sky. In the ancient mind, this was no destruction, but a sacred journey. What was placed into the fire did not vanish. It traveled. The offering became light, became scent, became song rising into the air. It was a message carried beyond human reach, entrusted to the divine. Picture now a lone traveler in the desert, far from village or temple. The night is cold, and the sand stretches without end. He gathers dry branches and kindling. With patience, he strikes flint against stone, and sparks leap. Soon a small flame takes root. He watches it grow, watches it breathe. Alone beneath countless stars, he feels less alone. The flame is a companion. Its warmth enters his body. Its glow eases his heart. Around the circle of firelight, the darkness cannot cross. Here, in the silent desert, the fire is his prayer and his protection. The ancients learned that fire could purify. They touched it with incense, and the air grew sweet. They passed tools and vessels through its heat, trusting it to cleanse. They burned away the old, and in the ashes they saw room for new life. In the fire's crackling song they heard the promise. What is heavy can be lifted. What is broken can be changed. What is weary can be reborn. Now let your thoughts drift to the hearth of a quiet home. In many lands, the hearth fire never died. Families fed it daily, treating it as the soul of the household. Around it, stories were told, bread was baked, warmth was shared. When travelers returned from distant roads, the sight of smoke rising from the chimney filled them with peace. The hearth was not only flame, it was belonging. To see its glow was to know, you are home. The Greeks honored Hestia, goddess of the hearth, keeper of the eternal flame. Her fires burned in both homes and temples, linking private life with sacred worship. In Rome, the Vestal virgins tended the great flame of Vesta, never allowing it to fade. As long as the fire burned, the city was safe. To let it die was to invite shadow, disorder, and loss. Such was the reverence for fire, not feared alone, but cherished as holy. In Persia, the followers of Zarathustra honored fire as a pure reflection of truth. Their temples held flames that burned for generations, tended by devoted hands. Worshippers stood before the glow, their voices lifted in prayer, knowing the fire carried their words upward. For them, the flame was not a god, but a window into the eternal light that shaped all things. Imagine standing before such a sacred flame. The room is hushed. The firelight dances on polished walls. The air is fragrant with incense. Your eyes rest upon the flickering glow, and time itself seems to soften. The flame bends and rises, never still, yet never lost. In its rhythm, your own breathing finds harmony. In its warmth, your own spirit feels calm. The flame teaches many lessons. It teaches that devotion is not loud but steady, that love, like fire, must be tended, that anger burns quickly and dies, but devotion burns slowly, endlessly. The flame teaches that light is not something you hold, but something you share. A single candle can pass its flame to another and lose nothing. In this, the ancients saw the gift of devotion, to give without emptiness, to shine without end. Now picture a great festival night in a city long vanished. Torches line the streets, carried by joyful hands. Lamps float upon a river, drifting like stars across the water. Children laugh, elders chant, drums beat softly in the distance. The night is alive with flame, each light a prayer, each spark a promise. The city glows like a constellation upon the earth. From above, the gods must smile, watching their children return devotion through the language of fire. Even in silence, the flame speaks. Watch its colors. Deep red at the base, golden in the middle, pale blue at the heart. Each shade tells of transformation, of hidden energy, of mystery. The fire is never only what it seems. It is earth becoming light, wood becoming warmth, matter becoming spirit. To gaze into a flame is to gaze into a mystery, not to solve it, but to rest within it. Now bring the thought closer. Imagine yourself holding a single candle. Its wax is smooth beneath your hand. Its flame is small, yet alive, flickering gently in the air. Around you is darkness, but the candle glows steady and soft. You feel its warmth, you hear its faint crackle, and you realize that this tiny flame is enough. It does not need to be grand. It does not need to roar. Its small light is devotion itself, quiet, humble, yet unbroken. In many myths, fire was stolen from the gods and given to humankind. To the Greeks, Prometheus carried it down from the heavens, a gift of survival and spirit. To the Mari, fire was hidden in the body of a goddess and released for her children. These stories remind us that fire is not only physical, it is divine generosity placed into human hands. It is the trust of the eternal, asking mortals to tend the sacred spark. Consider how even today, fire marks our deepest moments. Candles are lit in temples and churches, in shrines and homes. Flames are kindled for weddings, for prayers, for remembrance. Each light is a whisper, a bridge, a devotion carried into the unseen. The flame does not need words. It glows, and that is enough. As you rest now, imagine yourself surrounded by gentle firelight. Small candles, soft lanterns, a quiet hearth. Their glow wraps around you, tender and protective. No shadows intrude. The flame has formed a circle, and you are at its center. Within this glow there is only calm. Within this glow your spirit is safe. The night outside may stretch on, but within this firelight time slows. Each flicker is a breath. Each spark is a heartbeat. The flame steadies your thoughts, softens your edges, carries you deeper into rest. You are not alone. The flame of devotion burns with you, carrying your quiet hopes upward, carrying your gentle presence into the stillness of the night. Now let the fire sink into memory. See it one last time, rising, bending, rising again. A rhythm, like the ocean, like the breath, like the heart. It will never truly fade, for devotion is not a flame that dies, but a flame that travels. It returns in another torch, another candle, another hearth. It is eternal, carried through the ages. Rest in that thought. Rest in the warmth of unseen fire. Rest in the glow of devotion that has always been and always will be. The flame burns on, even as your eyes grow heavy. The flame burns on, even as your body falls into sleep. The flame burns on, carrying prayers like sparks into the night sky. Let us drift onward now into deeper silence. Rest as the flame of devotion guards your dreams. Rest as its light softens into stars above. Sleep while the fire carries you gently into eternity. The night is calm. A soft hush rests over the world, like a blanket of silence spread across earth and sky. The stars shine faintly above, scattered like tiny lanterns, and the moon drifts with gentle patience across the heavens. Around you, still waters shimmer with pale reflections, unmoving, endless, deep. In this quiet dreamscape, a flower waits. At first it is hidden, tucked beneath the surface within the murky waters of a pond. The air is cool, the water is dark, and yet from that unseen depth, a tender stem begins its journey upward. It reaches for the light. Slowly, silently, it rises. This is the story of the lotus. Across many lands, through countless centuries, the lotus has been honored as a sacred sign. In India, in Egypt, in China, in far eastern shores, people looked upon the lotus and saw more than a plant. They saw a teaching. They saw a promise. They saw purity and peace rising above the heavy waters of life. Picture the pond again. The water is not clear. It is heavy with silt, filled with shadow, touched by decay. Yet out of this soil, the lotus takes root. It does not resist the mud. It does not flee the darkness. It grows through it, using it, turning heaviness into strength. And when it reaches the surface, it breaks into air and opens its petals wide to the light of the sun. Pure, untouched, radiant. This is why the lotus has long been a symbol of the soul's journey. Just as the flower rises through mud and water, the spirit rises through hardship and struggle. No matter how deep the shadows, no matter how clouded the waters, the soul may still open, still bloom, still shine with its own inner light. Imagine the petals now. At dawn they are closed, holding tightly to themselves. As the sun rises, they unfold slowly, gracefully, one after another. Each petal stretches outward, glistening with tiny drops of water. The bloom becomes a crown, resting gently upon the surface of the pond. The flower is untouched by the mud below. Its beauty floats above, serene and pure. In the East, many sages sat in meditation upon the image of the lotus. They placed it beneath the seat of the Buddha, who is often shown resting upon its bloom, a symbol of awakening. The lotus whispered to them, "Enlightenment is not escape from the world, but the rising above it, calm and untouched, even as the waters remain below." In Egypt, the blue lotus held another meaning. Each evening, the flower closed and sank beneath the water. Each morning it rose again, opening to the sun. To the ancients, this was the rhythm of creation itself. Death and rebirth, shadow and dawn, descent, and rising once more. The lotus carried the secret of eternal return, a gentle reminder that endings are never the end. Let your mind drift to a quiet temple garden. The air is still, filled with the fragrance of blossoms. A pond glimmers at the center, where dozens of lotus flowers rest upon broad leaves. Their colors glow faintly, soft pinks, pale whites, deep blues. A monk walks slowly along the edge, his footsteps soundless, his gaze lowered in reverence. Each flower, he knows, is a teacher. Each petal whispers, "Rise with grace, bloom with peace, rest untouched by shadow." The lotus also teaches patience. It does not rush its opening. It waits for the right light, the right warmth, the right moment. Petal by petal, it unfolds in perfect time. So too the spirit unfolds slowly with patience, never forced, never hurried. Peace is not seized. It blossoms. The lotus reminds us of this truth. Now imagine yourself as that flower. You rest in the dark water, roots deep in the soil. The mud does not bind you. It feeds you. The water does not drown you. It carries you. Slowly you rise. Slowly you move toward the light. With each breath you grow taller, stronger, more certain. And then, one morning, you break through the surface. You feel the warmth of the sun. You open. Your petals spread, one by one, until you shine upon the water, radiant and whole. The ancients believed that each stage of the lotus carried a message. The closed bud spoke of hidden potential, the soul not yet awakened. The half-open bloom was the seeker on the path, still learning, still rising. The fully opened lotus was the awakened heart, pure, complete, resting in peace. To look upon such a flower was to remember the path of every soul, from seed to stem, to bloom, to light. Even the colors of the lotus held meaning. The white lotus was purity, untouched by stain. The red lotus was love and compassion, the beating of the awakened heart. The blue lotus was wisdom, insight rising above illusion. The pink lotus was the supreme, the rare flower of full awakening. Each color carried a gentle reminder, a truth wrapped in petals. Let the image of the lotus soothe you now. Imagine a wide pond under moonlight. The air is still. The stars are mirrored in the water's surface. Upon that water float countless lotus blossoms, glowing softly, as if lit from within. They open and close with the breath of the night. Their reflections shimmer, creating circles of light upon the pond. It is a field of peace, a sea of calm, and you drift among them, weightless, safe, serene. The lotus also reminds us of balance. It is rooted in the soil, yet it blooms in the sky. It belongs to both earth and heaven, both shadow and light. To see the lotus is to remember that the spirit too lives in balance. Grounded, yet reaching upward. Still, yet rising. Touched by the world, yet not bound by it. Close your eyes and picture the slow unfolding of one single lotus. Watch it rise from the water, stem steady, petals curling open. Watch as morning sunlight pours across its bloom, and dew slides from its edges like liquid silver. It breathes, though it makes no sound. It shines, though it speaks no word. Its lesson is silence. Its teaching is beauty. In many chants, the lotus was called the thousand-petaled flower. Each petal was a doorway, each layer a step deeper inward. To meditate upon it was to travel slowly toward the center, where stillness and light dwell. The lotus was not only a plant, but a map of the soul, a guide for those seeking rest, peace, and awakening. Now feel yourself drifting into that center. Imagine the petals folding around you, one after another, until you are at the heart of the bloom. All is soft. All is light. The air is fragrant, calm, protective. Here, there is no noise, no heaviness, no fear. Only the gentle stillness of the lotus, holding you in its eternal embrace. The pond grows quiet. The night deepens. And the lotus continues to bloom. It rises and falls with the breath of time, never weary, never afraid. It has seen centuries pass. It has seen countless suns rise and set, yet always it blooms again. This is its gift, the eternal promise that beauty will return, that peace will rise, that purity cannot be drowned. Let this promise rest in your heart as sleep gathers around you. Like the lotus, your spirit too can rise. Like the lotus, you too can bloom, untouched by shadow. The mud does not define you. The water does not bind you. You are rising, always rising, toward light. Now the petals begin to close. The night grows deep. The lotus sinks gently back toward the water to rest until dawn. It does not resist the darkness. It trusts the cycle. It trusts the return of light. so too may you rest, trusting that tomorrow the sun will rise, the petals will open, and peace will return again. Drift now, as the lotus drifts. Float upon still waters, rest within soft petals. Close your eyes, and let the night carry you deeper into calm. Let us drift onward, into silence. Now rest as the lotus closes beneath the stars. Now rest as the gentle waters hold you. Now rest as the lotus rises within your dreams. Night has deepened. The stars are steady lanterns above, resting in the silence of the sky. The air is cool, carrying the scent of earth after rain. A faint breeze stirs the branches of ancient trees, and a silver moon lingers above, watching patiently. In this quiet, something stirs at the edges of the dream, a ripple in the grass, a soft motion among the stones. The presence is not loud, not threatening. It is slow, deliberate, winding. A serpent, gliding with a rhythm as old as the earth itself. The serpent has long carried meaning in the minds of humankind. Some feared it, some revered it. Yet always, the serpent was remembered. Its form, curling in endless circles, spoke of mysteries too deep for words. Its movement, close to the ground, whispered of hidden power, of secrets beneath the surface. Watch the serpent now. Its scales shimmer faintly in the moonlight. They catch the silver glow and reflect it. One by one, like tiny mirrors, it does not rush. It flows. Every movement is patient, as though it knows the rhythm of the earth, as though time itself bends around its path. The ancients saw the serpent as more than an animal. It was a sign, a living story. In its ability to shed its skin, they saw renewal. The old layers were left behind, falling away like dried leaves, while beneath them a new skin gleamed. This was the cycle of life itself, written upon the body of the serpent, death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, shadows giving way to light. Picture a sacred fire burning low in a desert shrine. Around it sit figures wrapped in cloth, their faces lit by the glow of embers. Upon the wall of stone carved long ago, coils a great serpent. The flames flicker against its shape. The people whisper prayers to it, not of fear, but of reverence, for they know the serpent's wisdom, that nothing is lost, only transformed. The old falls away, and the new emerges shining. In other lands, the serpent curled itself into a circle, its tail resting in its mouth. This was the Ouroboros, the endless one, the symbol of eternity. No beginning, no end, a circle that devours itself and yet is never gone. It was the turning of seasons, the path of stars, the breath of life itself, circling through birth, growth, decline, and return. To gaze upon this circle was to remember. Life is not a line, but a wheel, always turning, always beginning again. Let the serpent guide your mind gently now. Imagine it moving across the earth, leaving behind a faint trail in the sand. It carries no burden, no weight of the past, for it has already shed what no longer serves. It lives only in this moment, flowing forward, light, renewed. It teaches you the same, to let the heavy skins fall, to step into the present, untouched and whole. In the temples of Mesoamerica, the feathered serpent appeared upon great stone stairways. It was called Quetzalcoatl, a god of breath, of wind, of life, feathers and scales together, sky and earth bound as one. To the people, this serpent was not only of the ground, but of the heavens too. A bridge between realms, carrying prayers like wings, carrying wisdom like rivers. The serpent showed that renewal is not only of the body, but of the spirit. The endless rising, the endless return. Far away in the myths of the north, a great serpent encircled the seas. Jörmungandr, the world serpent, vast enough to coil around the earth, its presence was both fearsome and sacred, for it reminded all that even the greatest waters were embraced by a single circle. The serpent held the world itself, and though storms might rise, though waves might roar, the circle remained unbroken. Across each culture, the serpent's wisdom curled in different forms, yet always it spoke of cycles, the spiral of time, the renewal of the soul, the eternal return of dawn after darkness. Its movement was a scripture without words, written in the patterns of scales and coils. Now close your eyes and imagine a serpent shedding its skin. The old layer peels away softly, like a robe slipping from the shoulders. It falls back into the earth, where it will turn to dust, to soil, to nourishment. Beneath it, the serpent gleams fresh, shining with newness, as though reborn. This too is your journey. The old days fall away. The old burdens soften into the soil. You, too, shine fresh beneath them. You, too, are always renewed. Listen to the quiet rhythm of your breath. Inhale, and something enters. Exhale, and something leaves. This is the serpent's wisdom. 2. Every breath is a small renewal, a shedding, a rebirth. You're always moving, always changing, always flowing like the serpent in the grass. Imagine a great garden now, hidden in twilight. The air is warm, filled with the fragrance of blossoms. In the center lies a stone path, winding like a serpent. It does not move straight, for wisdom is not straight. It coils, it bends, it curves back upon itself, yet always it moves forward, drawing you deeper into peace. With each step, you walk its winding wisdom, calm and unhurried. The serpent was never only about fear, it was about transformation. It showed that endings are never the end, but only the turning of a page. The fruit falls, the seed remains, the skin sheds, the life continues. The night deepens, the dawn will come. The serpent's path is always renewal. Now picture the Ouroboros again, circling slowly in the night sky. Its coils are made of stars. Its body is endless light. It turns without end, tail in mouth, infinite and whole. Beneath its gaze, you too are part of the circle. You too belong to the great turning. You too are carried in cycles of change, of release, of gentle rebirth. The ancients left these symbols not to trouble the heart, but to soothe it, to remind the weary soul that nothing is ever truly lost. The serpent carries the lesson of time itself. What fades will return, what closes will open, what sinks will rise again. And so the mind can rest, knowing that even in endings, there is quiet renewal. See the serpent once more, resting in the moonlight. It curls upon itself, body forming a spiral, breathing with the earth. It does not resist. It does not hurry. It only is. Complete, eternal, renewed with every breath. Now let this image soften into your dreams. Feel the serpent's calm, winding through the night. Its wisdom is gentle, like waves against the shore. Its promise is quiet, like dawn beyond the horizon. It coils around your thoughts, not to bind, but to hold, to cradle, to protect. The night is deep now. The stars are steady, and the serpent rests once more in silence. Its coils shimmer like silver in the darkness. Its breath merges with the wind. Its spirit curls into eternity, watching, waiting, renewing. Let us drift onward now. Let the serpent's wisdom linger, soft as the hush of water. Let the night hold you, like coils of silver. Now rest as the stars return. Now rest as the serpent curls into dreams. Night settles deeper now. The sands grow cool beneath the vast dome of sky. A silence rests across the ancient desert, soft and unbroken, save for the whisper of wind. Above, the stars are countless. They shine as lanterns scattered across a black sea, patient and eternal. Each one breathes light, steady, and unhurried, like a heartbeat of the heavens. To those who walked these lands long ago, the stars were never only faraway fires, they were companions, they were watchers, they were maps written across the sky, placed there by hands unseen. When the world was wide and paths were hidden in shadow, the stars guided. They shone with a promise. You are never lost. The heavens always hold a way. See them now. Constellations stretch like stories above the desert. The hunter's bow, the serpent, coiled, the great river of light that we call the Milky Way, flowing endlessly from horizon to horizon. These shapes are not accidents. They are symbols woven into the fabric of night, carrying meaning that whispers from one generation to the next. Imagine a traveler moving slowly across the desert. The sand is cool beneath their feet. Their fire has gone quiet. only embers left glowing faintly. Above them, the stars pour their guidance. Step by step, the traveler lifts their eyes, letting the sky show the path. Each constellation is a signpost, a gentle hand pointing onward. In ancient temples, priests would climb to the highest terraces. There, under open skies, they would read the heavens as one reads a sacred book. The rising of certain stars marked the coming of rains. The sinking of others foretold harvest. Some believed the souls of the departed journeyed upward, taking their place among the constellations, shining forever as guides for those still below. To look at the stars, then, was to look into the memory of the divine. The path of stars was not only of earth, but of spirit. Many believed the soul itself would follow a cosmic road when life had ended. This road was lit by stars, a shining bridge to the realm of gods and ancestors. Among the Egyptians, the Milky Way was the great river of the sky, a reflection of the Nile below. To cross it was to be carried toward eternity, gently like a boat gliding upon calm waters. In Greece, the stars held myths in their glow. Heroes, lovers, and sacred beasts were placed among them, immortalized in patterns of light. Orion the hunter walked forever across the sky, his belt a line of 3 burning gems. Andromeda lay in her chain of stars, while Pegasus soared with wings spread wide. For those who gazed upward, the sky was alive with story, a tapestry woven of memory, courage, and devotion. The heavens reminded mortals that their deeds, too, might one day shine. In the north, the stars gave direction across endless snows. The people lifted their eyes to the North Star, steady and unmoving, a beacon in frozen nights. It was a promise of safety, a point to follow when all else shifted. No matter how far the journey, the star remained. It became a symbol of the heart's compass, of faith that does not waver. In every land, stars were more than ornaments of night. They were teachers. They were reminders. They were bridges of light connecting earth to heaven, humanity to eternity. Now let your mind wander under this ancient sky. Lie upon the desert sands, the air cool against your skin. Above you, countless stars unfold. They form rivers, spirals, paths that seem endless. Each star is a lantern lit for you, guiding you softly onward. There is no rush, no urgency, only the gentle rhythm of the cosmos, patient and eternal. Picture the Milky Way now, a great band of silver mist, stretching from one horizon to the other. It is like a road of light, vast and endless. Many cultures believed it was a bridge for souls, a passage for spirits to find their way home. To look at it is to remember that you too are on a journey, and the stars have always been your companions. In the myths of the Maya, the stars marked the steps of creation. They told of the hero twins, who played their sacred game and rose to the sky, becoming constellations. Their light was a reminder that life, struggle, and play are all threads in the great weaving of existence. Each star, a bead in the endless necklace of time. In the stillness of night, stars carry silence, yet they speak without words. Their language is slow, a rhythm of light across centuries. They remind the weary heart that what seems small today is part of something vast. The worries of a single day fade beneath the gaze of eternity. The soul, like the stars, belongs to something infinite. Think of your breath now. Inhale, slow and deep. Exhale, soft and steady. Your breath rises and falls like the glow of starlight, pulsing gently across the sky. Each breath is a star igniting. Each breath is a star fading, only to return again. You are part of this rhythm, this vast and tender cycle. The ancients often drew paths upon the ground to mirror the heavens, stone circles, pyramids, and temples aligned with rising stars. These were not mere structures. They were reflections, earthly mirrors of the sky above. By walking them, people believed they were walking the very roads of the stars, joining heaven and earth. Imagine standing before one such temple, its steps glowing faintly in moonlight. Above it, a constellation rises in perfect harmony. The stones and the stars speak to each other, whispering the same truth. What is above is also below. What is eternal is also within you. The path of stars is not only about direction, it is about belonging. Every star you see is connected to the whole. Sky, each one shines because of the darkness around it, and so do you. Your light is part of a greater pattern, even if the pattern is not yet clear. The stars remind you that your place is never lost, only waiting to be seen. Now let the night deepen. The desert cools further. The constellations move slowly overhead, turning in their endless dance. Time feels wide, stretched like a horizon without end. You are cradled beneath this canopy, safe in its silence. The path of stars is above you, around you, within you. You need not move. You are already upon it. Let your thoughts drift like the traveler's feet across sand, step by step, lighter, slower, guided only by starlight. Each breath carries you further along the shining road. There is no destination to reach, only the journey itself, calm and infinite, written in silver light. And now, the stars grow softer. They blur as if drifting into dream. Constellations fold gently into mist. The sky becomes a veil. Quiet and tender, the path of stars continues. Unseen but always present, it carries you now, not your steps, but your spirit, into rest. Let us drift onward. Let the stars above hold you as you sleep. Their light will not fade. Their paths will not vanish. Rest now beneath their eternal glow. Rest now. As the path of stars carries you gently into dream, the night deepens. The air is still. Only the hush of unseen winds moves gently across the silent earth. Before you rises a great tree, its roots hidden in darkness, its branches lifting high toward the stars. You rest beneath its wide shadow, and the world grows quiet around you. This is not an ordinary tree. It is the tree of sacred roots. The tree that ancient souls believed stood at the very heart of creation. It is both ladder and bridge, connecting the hidden worlds above and below. A gentle stillness gathers here, like soft moss beneath bare feet, like cool water upon a quiet stone. The ancients of Mesopotamia spoke of such a tree. In their desert lands, where rivers ran like silver threads, they believed in a great tree that reached into heaven. Its roots dug deep into the underworld, where silent waters whispered. Its trunk held the earth in balance, and its branches stretched upward to the sky, touching the realm of gods and stars. This was the axis, the middle line that held all life together. They saw in its form the order of the world, strong below, steady in the middle, vast above. Imagine standing at its base, seeing the trunk rise endlessly, like a pillar of living wood. The bark feels rough beneath gentle fingertips. It is both old and alive. Breathing softly, each leaf above stirs like a prayer, like a hymn offered to the heavens. The roots, though unseen, carry strength from the depths, feeding the whole, everything in balance, everything connected. In far northern lands, the Norse spoke of Yggdrasil, the world tree. Its name whispered with reverence, as if even the sound carried power. This tree was not just one tree, but the very structure of all that exists. Its roots drank from three wells, one of wisdom, one of fate, and one of life itself. Its branches held 9 worlds, shimmering like stars, each world a home for gods, spirits, and souls. It was said that every being, every creature, rested somewhere within its vast canopy. The smallest bird, the mightiest giant, even the gods themselves, all lived in its shelter. The Norse told of a squirrel that ran along its trunk, carrying whispers between root and crown, and of a great eagle that perched upon its topmost branch, watching all with eyes like distant suns. The tree held the stories of time. It was both fragile and eternal, shaken by storms yet never destroyed. Even when threatened, it endured, for it was the breath of the cosmos itself. As you rest here, beneath the sacred tree, you feel the presence of both stories, the river-fed tree of Mesopotamia, the sky-bridging Yggdrasil of the Norse. They blend together like 2 streams joining into one. You see how each culture, each people, looked upward and downward and found in the tree a symbol of life's endless weaving. For the tree is everywhere. It is in the desert, in the forest, in the tundra, in the mountain, always rising, always rooting, always binding heaven to earth. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine roots growing deep into the soil. Curling like ancient serpents in the dark, they reach toward hidden waters, carrying nourishment upward. Now imagine the trunk, steady and firm, holding the middle world where people live and walk. And finally, see the branches above, spreading like arms to embrace the sky, each leaf shimmering with starlight. In this image, the whole cosmos rests. The tree is both map and mirror. It shows the path of the soul, from the underworld, through life, to the shining heavens. Many believe that the soul itself was like a bird nesting in the branches. At times it would descend, fluttering near the roots, closer to shadow. At other times, it would soar to the crown, closer to light. But always, it remained part of the tree, always. It was held within the great pattern. There was no falling away. Only movement within. Only rest in belonging. Priests in ancient temples carved images of sacred trees on stone walls. The Assyrians, with their tall palaces, etched them beside kings and winged spirits. Often the tree stood flanked by guardians, as if to remind all who looked, this is the center, the axis, and the stillness of the world. Every branch was drawn with care, each leaf a symbol of life's unfolding. To look upon it was to feel the steady pulse of creation. Beneath the tree, time slows. The world grows hushed, like a soft breath held between moments. You sense how the ancients must have felt when they sat near such symbols. They must have felt small, yet not lost. For to be small beneath such greatness is not to vanish, but to belong. The tree does not ignore the sparrow at its roots, nor the flower at its base. It holds them, just as it holds the stars above. In dreams the tree can be climbed, step by step. Branch by branch the spirit rises, the leaves part, and the soul looks out across vast skies. Then gently it may descend again, into the coolness of the roots, into the waters of memory, before returning to the middle, to rest upward, downward, inward, always held, always sheltered, always one with the whole. Think now of your own breath as a tree. The inhale, like roots drawing from the deep, the pause, like the trunk standing steady, the exhale, like branches reaching out to sky. Breath after breath you are connected. Your body, too, is a tree. Feet rooted in earth, heart steady at the center, thoughts and dreams branching upward, touching stars. This is why the tree has always been sacred. It reminds all who gaze upon it that they are not separate. They are part of a greater body, part of a greater spirit. Root, trunk and crown joined, earth, self, and sky united, and so you rest. Beneath its shadow, the bark cool behind your back, the roots whisper beneath the ground, the branches sway in a rhythm older than time. Each leaf carries a memory of all who have come before. Each root remembers the depths of the first waters. Each branch knows the song of the stars. Altogether they hold you now, as you drift in stillness. The tree is the center of the world, but it is also the center of your heart. A place of quiet connection, endless and calm. It does not hurry. It does not fall. It endures, in silence, in grace, in balance. Now rest, as the tree rests, rooted deep, stretching wide, reaching high, at peace between worlds. Let us drift onward, carried by roots and branches, until the stars return again. The night is calm. Moonlight rests softly on the stones of forgotten temples. A breeze drifts slowly across the earth, carrying with it the faint scent of flowers that bloom only after dusk. In the quiet of this hour, a soft sound rises, the gentle beating of wings. A dove, pale as morning mist, glides across the sky. Its feathers catch the light of the moon, glowing as if dusted with silver. It does not hurry. It moves in silence, steady and calm, as though the world itself pauses to follow its path. This is the gentle dove, a symbol known to many, a bird of peace, of stillness, of spirit. In the ancient world, its form was seen not only in the sky, but in prayers, in carvings, in sacred rites. For where the dove appeared, hearts grew softer. Where it landed, silence became holy. In the temples of Mesopotamia, The dove was honored as a messenger of the goddess Inanna, later called Ishtar. She was the goddess of love, of fertility, of life's soft unfolding. The dove was her companion, moving between the realms of earth and sky. Its quiet flight carried blessings of tenderness, and its call was thought to echo with the promise of renewal. Priests carved its shape into clay. Worshippers left offerings where doves gathered, believing that their presence was a gentle sign of divine favor. Picture such a moment now, a courtyard of stone, warmed by the day but cooled by evening winds. Torches flicker at the edges. Above, the sky is vast, painted deep blue with scattered stars. A flock of doves settles on the temple roof, white against the dark. Their wings rustle softly, like distant waves brushing ashore. To those who looked upward, it was as though the heavens themselves had drawn nearer. Far to the west, in the lands that would one day speak of Olympian gods, the dove appeared again. This time, it was sacred to Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty. Legends told of her chariot drawn not by horses, but by doves, their wings lifting her across the sea's foam. Where they flew, love followed. Where they landed, life bloomed. And so the dove was no mere bird. It was a sign of joy, of union, of the soft bond between heart and spirit. Imagine standing by a shoreline, the sea calm beneath moonlight, the gentle sound of waves, the salt-kissed wind, and then, across the sky, a group of doves, their feathers shining like pearls. They circle once, twice, and then vanish into the horizon. To see them was to feel a blessing without words, a reminder that love, like wings, carries the soul beyond heaviness. The dove also found its place in lands of prophecy and prayer. In ancient Israel, it became a sign of peace, of renewal after storm. When the great floodwaters were said to cover the earth, it was a dove that carried an olive branch back to the waiting ark. Its soft wings carried hope. Its beak carried proof that dry land and life remained. Since then, the dove has flown through stories as a bearer of promise, a gentle bridge between despair and calm. Rest now in the image of that moment, a wide sea, endless and gray, the air heavy with silence. And then, out of the horizon, a small figure, wings steady, carrying a branch of green. It does not rush, it does not fear. It returns with serenity, carrying the world's first whisper of peace. In mystery schools and sacred rites, the dove's flight was not only outward but inward. It was seen as a soul's movement, rising beyond sorrow into stillness. A soft-winged reminder that the spirit is light, unbound, always able to return to the sky. Its whiteness spoke of purity, its cooing of comfort, its flight of freedom. Those who watched it could not help but feel a loosening within themselves, as if heavy burdens lifted with its wings. Close your eyes now. Picture a dove resting on your shoulder, its feathers soft, warm, almost glowing. It does not move in haste. It simply rests, breathing with you, its calm heartbeat steady and small. You feel lighter. You feel at ease. This is the gift of the gentle dove. The ancients often released doves in ceremonies. To send them skyward was to send prayers into the heavens. Their wings, catching sunlight or moonlight, carried human hopes upward. The moment the dove vanished into the distance, it was believed that the prayer had been received. A message carried beyond sight, delivered to the unseen realms. Now picture such a rite, a gathering at twilight. Priests in flowing robes, families standing in stillness. Hands lift a dove, soft and trembling, into the air, then release. The bird rises, wings unfolding, and soon disappears into the glowing sky. In that vanishing, faith is complete, for though the dove is gone from sight, its path continues into mystery. Throughout the world, across deserts, forests, and seas, the dove appeared again and again, not fierce like an eagle, not cunning like a raven, but simple, gentle, unassuming, and perhaps that is why it was loved. It did not conquer, it did not demand. It simply offered peace. It reminded people of tenderness, of softness, of quiet endurance. Think of how it perches, head tilted slightly, eyes calm and steady. Think of its soft call, low and soothing, as if the earth itself were humming a lullaby. No wonder it became a symbol of spirit. No wonder it was chosen to carry messages of love and renewal. It is not the loudness of wings that brings peace, but their quiet rhythm. The gentle dove flies on, not only through temples and altars, but through the dreamscapes of night. It circles above you now, its wings like whispers, its presence soft as breath. It does not ask you to follow. It does not hurry you. It simply drifts above, reminding you of calm, of peace, of serenity that is always near. Beneath its flight, your body grows heavy, like roots sinking into earth. Your thoughts, like leaves, loosen and fall, floating downward. Only peace remains, only stillness. Like the dove's wings, your breath is steady. Inhale, exhale, gentle, unbroken. And now, as the night deepens, the dove returns to its nest, a place hidden among quiet branches, where the wind barely stirs. It folds its wings, tucks its head, and rests. You too may rest now, safe, sheltered, at peace. The dove has carried its message. The sky has received its flight. All is quiet. All is calm. Let us drift onward, carried by wings unseen, until the stars return again. Night falls gently across the land. The stars stretch wide above, their glow mirrored in still waters below. A soft mist rises from the banks of an ancient river, curling like breath, moving slowly as if reluctant to leave the earth. The air is cool, touched by the scent of reeds and distant blossoms. Somewhere, a quiet ripple breaks the silence, then fades back into calm. This is not an ordinary river. It is the river of forgetting, a stream spoken of in sacred myths, where memory dissolves and new life begins. Water has always been more than water. For those who lived long before us, rivers were alive. They were mothers, carrying life from mountain to valley. They were guides, carving paths from land to sea. They were thresholds, leading from one world into another, and among them flowed rivers of mystery, waters that did not only quench thirst, but cleansed the soul. Imagine now that you stand at such a river. Moonlight rests gently on its surface, silver shifting with each small wave. The current is slow, steady, without urgency. It seems to invite you, not to cross, not to fight, but to let go, to lay burdens down, to set memories adrift, to trust the soft pull of the water. In the old tales of Greece, there was the Lethe, a river winding through the underworld, flowing between shadows and stars unseen. It was said that every soul who drank from its waters forgot their past life. Memories of joy, of sorrow, of loss, melted away like mist at sunrise. Only then could the spirit return, free and light, ready to step once more into a new beginning. The poets called it a mercy, for without forgetting, how could one begin again? The heart would be too heavy, the spirit too burdened. So the Lethe offered release. A sip, a drop, a touch upon the lips, and the weight of yesterday lifted, carried away by the current, rested now in that image, a soul. Weary and trembling, kneels at the riverbank. Its hands cup the water, clear and glowing. One taste and the shadows fall away. There is no more fear, no more pain, only stillness, only peace. But the Lethe was not the only river, for in those myths, 5 sacred streams wound through the unseen world. The Styx, river of oaths, the Acheron, river of sorrow, the Phlegethon, river of fire, the Cocytus,
river of lament, and the Lethe, the quiet one,
the gentle one, the one that brought forgetting, not as punishment but as gift. When the ancients spoke of it, they did so in whispers, for memory is precious, yet so is release. The balance between remembering and forgetting is like the balance of breath. Inhale, exhale, hold, let go. Too much memory and the heart grows heavy, too much forgetting, and the soul loses its path. But in the Lethe, there was perfect measure. Just enough release to free the spirit. Just enough space for renewal. In other lands, too, rivers of forgetting were told. In Vedic chants of India, waters were sung as mothers of release. They washed away sin, sorrow, and the ties of past lives, The Ganges was one such stream, believed to carry prayers straight to the heavens. To bathe in her flow was to be cleansed not only of dust, but of unseen burdens carried deep within. Picture the banks of the Ganges at dawn. The horizon blushes with the first light of day. Pilgrims step into the river, their hands pouring water over bowed heads. Their lips whisper prayers as droplets run across their skin. Each drop is not only coolness, not only moisture, but a quiet letting go, a forgiveness of the past, a release into peace. Far north, in the myths of the Norse, there was another kind of river. Some called it Gjöll, flowing near the bridge to the land of the dead. Others spoke of 11 rivers born from the wellspring of life itself. Some of these streams ran clear, some ran thick, some froze into ice. Each was seen as a passage, a threshold, a reminder that life flows always onward. And though not all spoke of forgetting, the rivers carried the same wisdom, that nothing remains fixed, that all things move, that every drop continues its journey. To step into a river is to feel change. To drink from it is to allow renewal. The water carries, always, what no longer needs to be held. Now let us return to the river before us. The air is still, the stars gaze down, their light caught in ripples that spread and vanish. The sound is gentle, a soft hush, like a lullaby sung by earth itself. It is not a place of fear. It is not a place of sorrow. It is simply a passage, a stream that carries yesterday into silence and brings today into calm. You walk closer. The earth beneath your feet is damp, cool, alive with the scent of moss. Your hand lowers. Your fingers touch the water. It is smooth, flowing, endless. As it brushes your skin, a sense of lightness rises in you. A burden loosens. A weight softens. The water whispers, "Let go, let go, let go." The ancients believed that to forget was not to lose, but to renew. Like a tree shedding leaves in autumn, forgetting made space for new life to bloom. Like a river clearing silt, it made the water clear again. Like sleep, it was a soft reset, a gentle return to stillness. Think of your own thoughts as leaves drifting upon this river. They are not clung to, not held. They rest for a moment, then float away. You do not chase them. You do not resist them. You simply watch as the river carries them beyond sight. In their place, there is space. In their absence, there is peace. Even in Rome, centuries ago, poets spoke of Lethe not only for the dead, but for the living. They imagined the unborn drinking its waters before entering the world. To forget the vastness of eternity, to forget the burdens of the infinite, so that each child might begin life fresh, unburdened, innocent. For how could a spirit enter the world if it carried the weight of countless ages? Forgetfulness was not a loss, but a mercy. And so we return to the wisdom of the river. To forget is not to erase. It is to free. It is to loosen the bonds of what is already past, so that the heart may open again. The river flows still, its song low and steady. You may hear it now. The rhythm of water, the rhythm of release. It does not rush. It does not demand. It only carries. It carries what is no longer needed. It carries what is too heavy to bear. It carries, and it softens, and it returns all things to calm. The night deepens. The stars drift slowly in their courses. The mist settles once more upon the banks. The river moves onward, as it always has, as it always will, and you, too, may move with it. You, too, may let go. You, too, may drift upon its current into the quiet beyond. Now rest. As the river carries away the weight of the day, rest. As the waters clear and open the way to peace, rest. As the stars return and watch from above, let us drift onward, softly, steadily, on the river of forgetting. Night lies soft upon the earth. The air is hushed, wrapped in silver glow from a quiet moon. A temple rises in the distance, its stone walls bathed in shadow, its towers crowned with flickering lamps. At its heart, a doorway waits, tall, silent, unmarked. It is neither open nor closed, it simply waits. Before such a doorway, One does not rush. One stands still. One listens. The faint echo of wind drifts through carved arches. Somewhere deep within, a drop of water falls, steady as the rhythm of a heart. It is a place of thresholds. It is a place of secrets. And here, in the quiet of the night, the symbol of the key begins to appear. Keys have always held mystery. Small, simple objects of metal or bone, yet able to open what is hidden. In the old stories, they were more than tools. They were symbols of trust, of entry, of knowledge kept for the worthy. A locked door was a veil, and the key was the hand that parted it. Imagine now a key carved long ago, its surface worn by touch, its shape shining faintly in lamplight. It lies upon a stone altar. Waiting, it does not hurry, it does not force, it rests, holding within it the promise of passage. In the myths of the Greeks, keys were given to the goddesses who guarded thresholds. Hecate, the one who walked at crossroads, carried keys in her hands. She was keeper of entrances, of doors seen and unseen. Her keys did not clang like iron. They shimmered like moonlight, delicate yet strong. To hold her key was to move between worlds, to walk gently where shadows turned into light. In other lands, too, the key appeared. In the temples of Egypt, the Ankh, shaped like a looped cross, was known as the key of life. Pharaohs carried it. Gods offered it. Priests painted it upon walls. It was not made to turn a lock, but to unlock existence itself. It symbolized the hidden breath, the eternal doorway between this life and the next. To hold the Ankh was to hold a promise that life never ends, that the soul always passes through. Think now of your own hands. They are empty, yet in your palm you may imagine a key. It is cool at first, then warm with your touch. It is not heavy. It is shaped just for you, fitting perfectly in your grasp. Its teeth are carved in patterns unknown, yet familiar. It whispers of doors that you have yet to see. You do not rush to use it. You do not force the lock. You simply hold it. And already you feel lighter, for the key itself is comfort. It reminds you that no door is final, no barrier eternal. Every wall has a passage. Every closed gate has a way through. And sometimes the way is not to push, but to wait. The ancients knew this too. In the early churches of Rome, St. Peter was painted with keys in hand. They called him the keeper of heaven's gates, the one entrusted with entry to the eternal city. The key he held was not power over stone doors, but trust in mysteries unseen. It was a gift of faith, a reminder that access to peace is always near. And in the East, the stories spoke of bodhisattvas, those compassionate beings who held the keys of wisdom. Not metal keys, not carved shapes, but mantras and teachings. Each one was a key, unlocking compassion, opening insight, leading the heart from sorrow to stillness. For wisdom itself is a hidden door, and patience, the hand that turns the key. In your dreamlike walk through the temple, you come upon doors. One is carved with lotus flowers, closed but glowing faintly from within. Another is plain, made of wood darkened by time. A third is iron, firm and silent, set deep into stone. None of them open at a touch. They wait, they watch, and the key in your hand rests quietly, asking not for force but for trust. You step closer. The lotus door shimmers, its petals glowing like moonlit water. You place the key gently into its hidden lock. It turns as softly as breath. The door opens, not with noise, not with struggle, but like the unfurling of a flower. Beyond there is no fear, no shadow, only a garden bathed in silver light, where rivers murmur and air is sweet with unseen blossoms. The garden is not to be taken. It is only to be seen. And then, with a sigh, the door closes again. The key is not gone. It rests once more in your hand. Another door awaits, the wooden one, simple and quiet. You turn the key again. The door creaks, not in warning, but in welcome. Beyond lies a room of warmth. Candles burn low. Shelves are lined with scrolls and clay tablets. A gentle fire flickers at the center, its light like a heartbeat. Here is memory. Here is wisdom. Here is all that has been written down, so the soul need not carry it alone. You rest there a moment, in the glow of the fire. Then the door too closes, and silence returns. The iron door remains. You place the key within. This time, the lock does not turn quickly. It waits. It tests. It asks for patience. And so you breathe slowly. You wait as the key warms in your palm. At last, it yields. The door swings open into deep night. Beyond it, only stars, an endless sky, the quiet infinity that lies past all thresholds. The lesson is gentle. The key does not command. It does not rush. It opens. Only when the heart is ready. Each door waits for its own time. Each threshold reveals itself in stillness, not in haste. So the ancients kept keys close. They wore them on cords, carved them in stone, offered them in rituals. Keys reminded them that what is hidden will one day be revealed, that what seems closed is only waiting for the right touch, the right moment, that patience and faith will always turn the lock. The night deepens, the temple grows quiet, the doors fade into shadow once more. Yet the key remains, glowing faintly in your hand. It does not vanish. It rests with you, wherever you drift. For the hidden doors are not only in temples or myths. They are within the spirit, within the heart. Each dream, each breath may be a doorway, and the key is always with you. Now the stars stretch wide across the sky. The air grows still, the river of night flowing slow and endless above. The key rests upon your palm, lighter now, like a feather of light. It does not press. It does not weigh. It simply glows, a soft reminder that peace is always near. Let the doors of the day close gently behind you. Let the keys of night rest quietly in your hand. All that is hidden will one day open. All that is locked will one day turn. Until then, there is only stillness, only rest. Now drift onward, through doors of silver, through halls of quiet flame, through skies of endless stars. The key of hidden doors shines softly, guiding you into calm. Night has deepened, and the world is quiet. The wind carries only the faintest sigh through the trees. Above, the stars glow like embers scattered upon velvet darkness. A moon drifts slowly across the sky, its silver light falling upon a circle of stones. Here, at the heart of this ancient clearing, companions once gathered not in noise, not in haste, but in calm, with reverence, with the rhythm of breath. The circle is simple. Stone benches curve around the center, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands and countless seasons. At the middle rests a low fire pit, where coals once glowed like the heart of the earth. Even now, though the flames have long since faded, a warmth seems to linger in the air. A hush covers this place, as though every whisper here has been gently kept by time. In every land, there were such gatherings, people drawn together not by wealth, nor by power, but by spirit. They formed circles in caves, under trees, by riversides. Some called them cults, some called them brotherhoods, some called them families of faith. But at the heart of each circle lay a truth, that peace grows when souls sit side by side. Think of them, seated shoulder to shoulder. Torches set in the ground flickered against their faces. The shadows of their bodies stretched long across the soil. Their voices rose not in argument, but in chant. The sound was low, steady, like a tide moving across the shore. Each voice alone was fragile, but together they became whole. The chant was a weaving of hearts, a soft reminder that no soul is ever truly alone. Among the Greeks, companions gathered in temples lit by oil lamps. They shared bread and wine, breaking them in silence, their eyes lifted to the sky. They called upon mysteries, gods hidden behind veil and symbol. Their prayers did not rush. They were like water trickling over stone, patient and clear. And as they sat in circle, they felt the breath of the divine flow not only above them, but between them, in the spaces of shared stillness. Far to the east, monks gathered in the early hours of dawn. Their robes brushed softly against the floor as they knelt. In unison, they began to recite the sutras. The sound was like bees in a summer meadow, rising and falling, gentle and alive. The circle of companions there was not marked by stone, but by the joining of voices, each carrying the other, none left behind. In Egypt, beneath temple walls carved with hieroglyphs, Priests gathered with incense in hand. They moved in quiet steps around sacred altars, their circle forming as naturally as the sun around the earth. Each movement was a prayer. Each glance carried reverence. They knew the gods were not found in isolation, but in the harmony of many hearts turned together. The circle is one of the oldest of symbols. It has no beginning. It has no end. It wraps around like the horizon, like the sun's path, like the embrace of arms. To sit in a circle is to rest in balance. No one is above. No one is below. All are equal. All are seen. The ancients knew this. That is why their companions always returned to the circle, the shape of unity, the vessel of peace. Now imagine yourself stepping softly into such a circle. The night is cool, the ground firm beneath your feet. Companions are already seated there. They do not speak, but they turn their faces toward you with quiet welcome. A space waits for you, open and inviting. You lower yourself into that space, and at once you belong. You are not questioned. You are not tested. You are simply received. The fire glows faintly at the center, breathing warmth into the air. Hands rest calmly upon knees. The companions close their eyes, and then, like a stream beginning to flow, the chant begins. It is not a chant of words you must know. It is not language you must understand. It is a sound older than language, a sound born of breath, of heart, of earth. Low at first, it hums like the earth beneath your body, then it rises, filling the circle with a tone that vibrates gently through your chest. You feel it move through you, not sharp, not loud, but soothing, like the sound of wind moving through pine trees. As the chant flows, you begin to drift. You do not need to hold on to the sound. It holds you. It wraps you as the circle wraps the fire, as the horizon wraps the world. Here there is no weight. Here there is no fear. There is only breath, only sound. Only the steady presence of those who sit beside you. In Norse lands, such circles formed around sacred trees. The companions lifted horns of mead, not in loud revelry, but in solemn oath. Their circle was a bond, a promise, each one guarding the other, each one bound by words spoken under the branches of Yggdrasil, the great tree that touched heaven and earth alike. Their unity was not in noise, but in vow. Their peace was not in silence alone, but in shared strength and in the deserts. Wanderers formed circles by their tents. Stars stretched wide above them. Fires burned low in the sand. They told stories of prophets and spirits, of waters that quenched the thirsty, of winds that carried prayers to heaven. The circle kept them safe. The circle made the wilderness less vast. Side by side, they found rest beneath the same sky. Every circle of companions carried a secret that peace is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to be shared. A flame kept in one hand may flicker out, but passed from hand to hand, it becomes a fire that endures the night. The companions knew this as they passed cups, as they passed stories, as they passed silence itself. Even silence, when shared, becomes a gift. Even stillness, when held together, becomes stronger, for there is no solitude in the circle. Every breath is part of the whole. The chant softens. One by one, voices grow quieter until only the faint hum remains, steady as a heartbeat. Then even that fades, leaving only silence. But it is not empty silence. It is full, like the still air after rain, carrying promise and renewal. You sit with them still, your eyes close. You feel the warmth of shoulders near yours, the calm of hearts beating beside your own. You realize you are part of something endless, part of a circle that stretches beyond time. Those who sat before remain with you. Those who will sit after are already here. The circle is never broken. It turns, it flows, it lives. The moon drifts higher. The fire fades to ash. One by one, the companions rest their heads, their bodies sinking into the embrace of night. The chant lingers like a dream in the air, and the circle itself seems to glow faintly, as though carved not only of stone and soil, but of light. You breathe slowly. You drift gently. Peace spreads not only within you, but outward, touching each companion, touching the stars, Touching the night itself, the circle holds you now. It asks nothing. It gives everything. You are safe, you are whole, you are home. Now let us drift onward. The circle of companions fades into dreamlight. The stars gather above like silent watchers. The fire glows softly in the memory of your heart. Peace flows between souls, across time, across silence. Now rest. As the circle closes around you, endless and gentle. Now rest, as the night itself becomes your companion. Now rest, as the stars return.